David was a friendly boy who lived in Port Tobacco, Maryland. He loved Halloween more than any other time of the year. The smell of autumn leaves, the crunch of pumpkins beneath his feet, and the excitement of dressing up made him feel alive. Every year, David would look forward to the weekend before Halloween, when he could spend hours in his family's pumpkin patch, carving jack-o'-lanterns. His pumpkins were famous in town for their unique and cheerful faces. People would come from far and wide to see his creations, and David would proudly display them on his porch, lighting them up for all to admire. This Halloween was supposed to be special. David had planned to carve a giant pumpkin into the best jack-o'-lantern he had ever made. He invited his best friends, Emily and Jake, to join him in the pumpkin patch that evening. They brought snacks and blankets, ready to enjoy the cozy night under the stars. Laughter filled the air as they recited ghost stories, took turns carving, and ate sweet, candied apples. However, out on the road, the night was about to take a dark turn. A group of college students, back from a Halloween party, drove through Port Tobacco with loud music blaring from their car. They were boisterous and careless, laughing as they drank from their bottles. As they sped down the road, they didn't notice the pumpkin patch ahead sign until it was too late. When David and his friends heard the screech of tires, it was terrifying. They looked up to see the car barreling toward them, and before they could react, the car veered into the pumpkin patch. In an instant, everything went dark for David. The laughter and warmth were replaced by cold silence. When David opened his eyes again, he was confused. The pumpkin patch looked the same, yet something felt different. Night had fallen completely, and a strange chill ran through the air. He touched his chest, realizing he could still feel the carving knife in his hand. However, he felt an odd sense of hunger, not for food, but for something darker. Something sinister had awakened in him. The next Halloween arrived, and the town buzzed with excitement. Emily and Jake had planned to visit the pumpkin patch again, unaware of the chilling change. Upon entering the familiar patch, they were met with an eerie silence. The vibrant pumpkins that used to bring smiles were now lined up in a straight row, each carved in a haunting way that sent shivers down their spines. The faces weren't cheerful anymore. They looked twisted and ghoulish. In the distance, a figure emerged. With a dark hood and a carving knife that glinted menacingly in the moonlight, David appeared, but he wasn't the same friendly boy they remembered. His eyes glowed with an unsettling light, sending a wave of fear through Emily and Jake. They felt an instinct to run, but their feet seemed frozen to the ground. David. Jake called out, hoping somehow their friend would respond as he used to. "You shouldn't have come back," David replied, his voice low and eerie. He raised the carving knife, the blade shining in the moonlight. "I have a new plan for Halloween. I won't be carving pumpkins anymore." Emily gasped, her heart racing. "What do you mean?" David took a step closer, and they could see the change in him. The boy they had known was gone. "Now, I carve people," he said, a sinister grin spreading across his face. "You see, your laughter brought me joy when I carved pumpkins, but now I crave something else." Jake grabbed Emily's hand, pulling her behind him. "David, this isn't you. We can help you. Please, just stop." But David only laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the night. He lunged forward, and they dashed away, heart pounding in their chests. They ran through the pumpkin patch, dodging the grotesque jack-o'-lanterns that seemed to leer at them, their faces twisting in mirthful horror. As they sprinted, they could hear David's footsteps behind them, growing closer. The moon illuminated their path just enough for them to see the edge of the patch where the road began. They needed to reach safety. Suddenly, Emily tripped over a vine, falling to the ground. Jake turned back, shouting for her to get up. But David was already there, looming over her, the knife raised. In that moment, something inside Jake snapped. He wasn't going to let his friend fall victim to this horror. He charged at David with all his strength. The two collided, and in the struggle, the knife flew from David's hand, landing among the pumpkins. Emily watched in terror as Jake tackled David to the ground. They rolled amidst the pumpkins, the moonlight revealing the fear and determination on both boys' faces. Jake finally managed to pin David down, breathing heavily, whispering, "You're still in there. Fight it, David." In that instant, a flicker of the old David shone through. He hesitated, the glow in his eyes flickering like a dying candle. But as the fear subsided, it was replaced by rage. With a sudden surge of energy, David pushed Jake off himself and grabbed a pumpkin instead of the knife. "No more running," he said, his voice steady yet cold. The struggle was not over. This Halloween was just the beginning. The friends learned the hard way that sometimes the darkness could consume even the brightest light.
So if you're out in the pumpkin patch on Halloween night, beware of David, the pumpkin carver.